Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's also a pleasure for me to welcome you today to our 10 years anniversary celebration of Estonian Cell. And I will give you an overview about Heinzel Group and also of the development of Estonian Cell. Heinzel Group is a 100% family-owned company, and the headquarters is in Vienna, in Austria. And we have 4 production sites, 4 industrial sites, and 3 trading units. One of these companies is TÖÖSTUSFOORUM. It's located in the south of Austria, produces bleached kraft pulp with a capacity close to 450,000 tons a year, and has also a paper machine which produces kraft paper. And we invested in this mill over the last 8 years more than 400 million euros. And we have just approved a further investment, about 20 million euros, to increase the capacity in the pulp production. The second pulp production, of course, is Estonian Cell. I will go into details anyhow afterwards. And then we have 2 paper mills. One of them is Lackirchen, it's in Upper Austria. There are 2 paper machines, and there we produce supercalendered paper for magazines with a capacity about more than 540,000 tons a year. And we have also just started a new investment on this mill, as we will rebuild one of these 2 paper machines into a carton board machines. And this investment will also be more than 100 million euros. And the second paper mill is in the south of Germany. It's Raubling Papier. There we produce corrugated carton board with recycled fibers, and there we have 2 paper machines with a capacity of more than 200,000 tons a year. And on the trading side, there is Heinzel Sales, Wilfried Heinzel AG. It forms also the foundation of the whole group. It's a globally active trading company for pulp and paper all over the world. We have 23 representatives in 23 countries. And we will this year achieve a sales volume above 2 million tons in more than 80 countries. Europapier is one of the leading paper merchants in Central and Eastern Europe, and also is a merchant for paper-related products as hygiene and visual communication. And what also is important for us is Bunzl & Bier. Bunzl & Bier is one of the largest waste paper treating and distributing companies in Austria, and also one of the largest wholesalers in Central and Eastern Europe. Waste paper is important for the paper production, as well as wood is the most important raw material for the pulp production. Together the group has a turnover this year about 1.8 billion euros. And we have, at the moment, 2,400 employees. But let's turn now to Estonia. You could anyhow see some issues in the film before. It's a greenfield investment with 153 million euros. In the meantime, we did further investments, so overall we invested 176 million euros to increase the capacity, to improve environmental issues, and to be and stay sustainable. The challenge of this project for us was we did an investment in a new country. So far we had no experience with Estonia. It was a new currency. At that time there was no euro, and it was a greenfield project. Of course, greenfield projects have also a lot of advantages, but there was also a certain risk on the technical and also technology side, as we had also no experience how to produce PCT and PE pulp. And this is also this new business field. And what is also not common behavior is that we had also new business partners. And so I will give you a short progress of events. The whole story started in 1999. It was Roy Paulsrud who had the idea to build a PCT and PE pulp mill here in Estonia. And I would like to say thank you to him, as he is really the founder of the whole project, and this was the beginning of this project. It took just 1 year to find the right location. It was here in Kunda, And 2 years later, the first key contracts were signed, and also environmental study was conducted. And in 2004, Heinzel Group came on board along with EPIT. And just 1 year later, the entire financing was in place, and we started civil works and also constructing of the mill. And indeed, 1 year later, in April 2006, the first production of this pulp mill started. So it took all over 7 years from an idea as the whole setup was done and the production could start. Here you can see some examples of what are the applications for our pulp. This is in the printing and writing business, board business, and also specialty papers as wallpaper, sandpaper, or labeling for bottles. These are the typical applications for our pulp. But let's draw now your attention to our highly competitive market situation. As it was already shown in the film, our export ratio is 100%. So we export everything out of Estonia. 75 to 80% in Europe. There are our core markets, Germany, Italy, and France. And the rest goes to India, China, and also South Korea. And I hope you can see this on the map. On the right side, this is a map for all mechanical pulp mills across the world. And on the left side, this is a map. You can see all the paper mills across the world. So we are not playing here in Estonia. We are playing all over the world. And there is no link on the cost base to Estonian cell or to Estonia. So we work in a very cost-driven competitive market, and we have to do our best to stay and to be competitive. And this is the real challenge for us. The values and the benefit for Estonia were also already shown. We multiply the value of wood at least 5 times, as we use 440,000 cubic meters of aspen logs. Export volume is already mentioned, and also the highest productivity here in Estonia with sales of 900,000 euros per employee per annum. And we are not only, I would say, important employer for our direct employed people, as we also create 500 indirect jobs here in Estonia. And what is also very important for us, the raw material in this way, electricity, we are consuming 2.5% of Estonian electricity and do this 24/7 hours a year. I think we bring also a benefit for the whole region, and we also implemented and installed best available technology and do innovative investments as this biggest biogas single reactor here in Europe, where we can produce 5 million cubic meter of biogas, and so we can replace our gas consumptions and can reduce our CO2 footprint by more than 30%. And for that we get an award from the government as environmentally and friendly company and production facility. And we are also the #1 company here when it comes to environmental permits. Of course, we also have also ISO certificates and all the certificates you need for quality management. But we are also a very considerable taxpayer. We paid last year more than 4.6 million euro, and over the 10 years more than 32 million euros. This is 3.3 million for energy taxes, 1 million for employment taxes, and 300,000 euros for environmental taxes. And if you also look to our suppliers, then we create also indirect taxes about 4.7 million euros a year. And with the change in 2007 of the taxation for electricity, you can see it here on this slide. These are the right columns. This was something we didn't expect. It wasn't foreseen in our business plan. And we paid in all this year now close to 20 million euros additional taxes which were not part of our business plan. And this is what we couldn't expect and what we didn't await. And if we look at our competitors, for example, in Sweden, in Estonia we have for 56 euros per megawatt to pay for electricity, and this is almost much as twice as you pay in Sweden, and it's almost more than 65% higher than you would pay in Germany or in Austria or in Finland. And if you look at total figures, or if you talk about total figures, we talk about 6 million euros a year in Sweden, what is our disadvantage here, and 5 million euros in Germany or 4 million euros in Austria. And the outcome and the profit and loss account over the first 10 years is that we made 19 million euro loss. And this is the equivalent to the paid electricity tax. So we also didn't pay any single euro for dividends, which means that we had so far no return on investment for this project here in Estonia. And usually we expect payback for such investments less than 10 years. So we are far away from this payback, we are far away from a return on investment. And to repeat again, no dividends were paid to the shareholders or to the owners. And so I think we are a fair investor, but we need this change of this electricity tax, and otherwise it's difficult for us to gain in the future profit. So the question is now how to invest in Estonian cell or in Estonia. I think most important is always raw material, and Aspen is here enough, so this is perfect, and also the availability of energy. And what was already mentioned before is the human capital is also very important for us, that we have educated and dedicated employees, and this is also perfect, the teamwork here in Estonian cell. And what we also need, of course, is legal stability and predictability. This is for all projects, of course, very, very important. And if you are looking for further foreign investments, I think you should think about subsidy models for new investments. So if you are prepared to change the taxation for electricities, we are prepared for further investments. We have an investment about 20 million euros in the pipeline, or we have it already engineered for further growth or for further capacity increase in the pulp mill. We also think about to build a combined heating and power plant, what would also be more than 50 million euros. And we also think about to build once a day a second fiber line for purge, and this would be also 100 to 150 million euros. And but we need a taxation, we need a support, a change in the taxation, and but nevertheless we are happy to be here, and we don't regret this investment. So I can only repeat, we are willing to invest further and additional projects, but we kindly ask the government for support, for your understanding and for your assistance, so that we can hopefully all together celebrate the 20th anniversary celebration of Estonian Cell. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Maier. Now the audience will have the chance to ask some questions from Mr. Maier. Kas kuulajatel saalis on küsimusi Heinzel Grupi tegevjuhile härra Kurt Maierile? Väga tagasihoidlik kvoorum on meil täna.
I have anyhow some issues forgotten. Now, what I would really do is to say thank you to the government and to the authorities during the phase when we constructed this mill, as we got all approvals and all permits we needed, very supporting us to do this. And this was extremely helpful in this period. And the second thing I would like to say is I was totally surprised today when we came to the mill and we used the access road, in which good shape the road now is, and it is now totally new, maintained. If you would have seen it a month ago, maybe you would be afraid. But now, thank you to everybody who has done that. I don't know if this is a present. So, okay, then thank you very much for this present, I would say.
And we cannot let Mr. Maier go without any questions. So one question I have. You mentioned it in your presentation that family group, Heinzel Group, achieved last year's sales volume 1.8 billion euros. Wow, this is really representing more than 20% of Estonian state budget. May you bring out some key success factors, how you could bring the group to that level within last 15 years?
I think the basis of all is clear ownership. As I mentioned, we are a family-owned company. The shareholders are very close to the business and are in the business, so we can make very fast decisions, and I think this is our biggest advantage compared to other groups. And I think also what you can see here, what we try to achieve and live every day is our core values. And our core values are responsibility, respect, excellence, and entrepreneurship. And I would say this entrepreneurship is very important, as we have a totally decentralized system, which means that all the managers of the various mills or trading units have the competence and they have the responsibility to act like an entrepreneur. And I think that motivates people, and this brings us to these results.
We have still one question from the audience, and how would you introduce you, Urmas?
Urmas Pavel, yeah. You, in your presentation, you showed
Please use microphone.
Okay. In your presentation, you showed you have paper production and pulp production. How much of your pulp production you using internally in your paper?
Yeah, in Zellstoff pearls, we use about 20% of our own pulp production, and this is also one of our advantages, as we can integrate our own pulp, and we also produce our own energy. It's different to this Estonian pulp mill. There we can produce all the electricity we need, and we can also deliver to the public grid. So this is the integration so far. From Estonian cell, at the moment, everything goes to other paper mills. There's no integration.
So there is a possibility to build a paper mill next to that plant?
It also is one of the possibilities and opportunities we think about, but I think I have already shown a list of projects we could realize.
Thank you.
We hereby conclude questions and answers session. Mr. Maier will stay with us throughout the rest of the day, and you can ask the questions also later.